Hi Student Success Seminar, welcome to Summer 2026. I am Dr. Linda Remark and I am your instructor for this 8-week summer course. I always like to start every semester with a welcome video that walks you through just the general navigation of the class so that you know how to kind of go around in Brightspace specifically for our course. Now, there is a required online orientation that everyone has to take if you are new to Brightspace. So if you have not taken that already, you may not be able to see our course quite yet. So I know I sent this out via email. Some of you are watching this via the link I sent, and some of you might already be in the class. But again, I just want to remind you that if you have not taken that Succeeding Online course, you do need to take that. So this video will just be really specific to our class. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with the features, and then eventually you will get into the weekly assignments where I will have videos to guide you through those. So whenever you log in, you're going to be routed to like a course homepage, and this is where announcements will be. You can see I do have announcements loaded up in here already. You can see week 1 announcements are there. Typically though, they will be displayed right here based on date, so you can kind of get a real quick overview of what's coming up. We will do most of our work, and most of the time will be spent in this lessons tab right here. So you'll click in here and you can see here there's different folders. There's a real quick little intro, and then when you expand the Start Here folder, you're probably going to use this information in the first week or two, and then it'll start to be needed less and less. So right here is actually where the video I'm recording right now will go. This is last year's video. So it'll be there all semester though, in case you forget how to do something and you want to go back and just revisit a portion of that. This is just a real quick discussion board and email overview. I'm going to leave it there because it's a real quick little clip on just those two components, but it's from last summer, although I will still talk about those two things in the recording that I'm doing right now. But this at least can, if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't remember how to email or post in a discussion board, that can at least give you like a real quick reminder. Here are some discussion boards. These will be open all semester long, and so I just want to show you here how to post in a discussion board because that'll come in handy later. Now, I do want to point out though that whenever you see information about attendance, that neither of these count toward attendance. So when it says like, hey, you need to post in the original response in the week 1 forum, that does not mean either of these. These are optional, they're here all semester, but they are not for attendance purposes. So here's the student lounge, and this is just to take the place of, like talking with classmates. So if you had something to say, asked a question, or you just want to introduce yourself, this is the place to go. So to get into a discussion forum, the prompt is always right here, and then you hit go to topic, and it'll repopulate that prompt right here. And if you wanted to say something, you would just hit start a new thread, enter your subject, and then put your message here. Whenever you're ready, you would just hit post. Now there is a place if you wanted to upload some kind of document, and you probably won't need that for this particular forum, but in other forums you could always upload documents if need be. Okay, so that is the welcome, like the student lounge, and again, you can give, like, if you've seen a good movie, some restaurants, if you have general questions. The other board that'll be open all semester is called the Muddy Point, and this is where you can ask a question about the course, an assignment. However, anyone can answer these questions. So if you had a very individual question just meant for me, please message me directly because I don't always check this on a daily basis, and so I may miss a post. And if you are asking a question about an assignment and there's a time restraint on it, you want to make sure that you contact me and reach out to me directly. But this would be the same thing. You would hit go to topic, you would hit start new thread, you would hopefully spell question correctly, you would hit post, and then whenever you go to respond to a classmate, you would just simply go into that forum, and you would click on the name of their post and hit reply. There's my post right there, it's short and sweet. You would hit reply right there and then hit post again. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I pointed out those 2 discussion forums that are going to be there all semester long, but they are not required and they're not for attendance. But hopefully that also gives you a little insight as to how to go about posting, because you will eventually have to do that once you get into your weekly work. All right, moving on right down, so I'm still in the start here area. We have the instructor welcome. This is just a real quick little bit about myself. You know, I have a 15-year-old son, a 13-year-old son, and a 10-year-old girl. A little information about the degrees that I have, and just I've been here for quite a long time. So just a little intro. Right underneath there, this is the master syllabus. So this is very, I don't want to say generic, but it's just a very overview. You know, this is a 1 credit hour course. Here's the course description that ideally you would have already been familiar with. These are the general learning outcomes that this course meets at the college, and then these are the course objectives. So these are kind of like the things that you could expect to know or understand by the end of taking this course. Here are some general policies and where you can find them. And then here is a little bit about our Disability Services Office. So let's say you had a 504 or an IEP in high school, or you have another academic need. This office is the place that could help you with those academic, you know, if you had a need for longer test time or quiet room for testing. Even though we're an online class, I want to make sure you are aware about this for any of your classes. Here's some computer use policy information and some student success resources. We have a lot to offer here on our campus, so I also like to show you where a more interactive view of this is. If you go to the Stark State homepage, under Info for Current Students, you will see a very similar list, but this is going to have even more, and then you can kind of click on it and get a little bit more information. Sometimes it'll have hours or contact information where you can go, just so that you're aware that, hey, you have access to all of these resources, and they're free. I mean, you paid for them in your tuition package technically, but they're free to use as often as you would like. Underneath that is the class calendar and the class syllabus specific to us in here. So again, this is student success. There are 2 courses into one here, so that's why you're going to see approximately 60 students in here. Excuse me, we are Web 3, which means we do not meet any particular day or time. The course weekly lessons open up on a Monday and they close on a Sunday night. So as long as you meet the assignment deadlines on a weekly basis, you can work at your own pace. So let's say you want to get it all knocked out on Mondays, you could do so. Here is my general information. Again, my name is Dr. Remark. In the summer, we do not have set office hours, but you can schedule them with me as you need. I am on campus throughout the month of June, and then I'm available through Zoom or online, you know, email, phone call, anything like that. We do have a textbook, and the good news is it's free and it's online, so I will show you how to access that here in just a little bit. Here's just a quick breakdown of the course so that you could see that, you know, how many points is available, and it's a very general ABCDF class. Some policies, you know, attendance is important. Attendance means your discussion boards, and so I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. When we say discussion boards, most weeks will have discussion posts where you have to post by Wednesday for your weekly attendance. If you miss that Wednesday deadline, you can still post late and get points. It'll just be 50% off. So it's just kind of like if you miss a face-to-face class, you missed it. You can't like go back in time and attend it. But kind of the same thing with online classes. It's just a way of making sure you're staying active. So Wednesday nights is when the attendance posts are due, and then everything else will be due on Sundays. If we have a week where there's no discussion forum, that means everything has to be submitted by Sunday, not only for the points there, but also then for attendance. You need a 70% or higher attendance to be able to pass the course, because mathematically, if it gets below that, it becomes a struggle to pass. And then you just need to make sure you submit everything when it's due to receive full credit. Excuse me, everything is due other than your attendance points on Sundays. Here is some more information, some general policies, and withdrawal date. You have in an 8-week course until Monday, July 13th to be able to withdraw and get this class off your schedule. Let's say your work schedule changes, something happens where you just cannot continue in this or any summer class. You have until July 13th to be able to take this off your schedule. All right, and then that leads us to the last few pages, which is the calendar. I always kind of recommend to students maybe to print this out or to get their own planner or, you know, whatever, hard copy or online, and write these dates in so that you are able to keep up with everything. I do have reminders, you know, when things are due, you know, weekly attendance by Wednesday, other things by Sunday. and it's broken down by week. I also like to show students that you can also look at the calendar right here, and all of those assignments that you just saw on that syllabus, I'm recording this in April, so let me skip to June, you can see are also here on the online calendar. So you have a couple places where those are located. I will also have weekly announcements where it has the breakdown of everything you're doing as well. So you're going to see them in the announcements, in the syllabus, on the calendar, in your messages. It's going to be all over, so hopefully it'll be hard to miss when things are due. Let me jump back here to the lessons. So again, that is the syllabus. Please just take a look and make sure you're familiar with it, as you will have a syllabus quiz you have to take, and you can certainly have this pulled up when taking that. There's some other resources here, citations, some general expectations. You know, I have around 24 to 48 hours to grade. I try to get it done very quickly. I grade every single day, but just in case, you know, it's summertime, if I'm out and about with my kids and it takes me a little bit over a day, just know that I am going to get to it as quickly as possible. Again, my own personal goal is always within a few hours, or, you know, every night. There's more information about grades, online policies, so again, feel free to take a look at all of these. I know it's a lot. There's like guidelines and etiquette and links. Peruse those at your leisure and see what will be helpful to you. You may not end up needing all of those particular things. I do want to point out though, right here is the required textbook link, which is really nice. It's going to be here all semester, so you can click on it, and here it leads to the table of contents for our book. You can click and navigate through the table of contents. Let's go right to chapter 1. And then all of chapter 1 is basically in one long page. So you can go up and down this way, and you can go to the next chapter or go back to the table of contents. Inside every weekly folder, there will be direct links to whatever chapter we're focusing on as well. So you don't always have to go back to that link right there. All right, so again, you'll end up using the Start Here area probably less and less as the semester or the summer goes on. Here is, again, another link to your textbook access. Here's a PDF version of the text. If you are more comfortable, it's going to take a minute to load because it's so large. If you prefer to have it this way, although again, it might be a little more overwhelming with it all in one large PDF, but that's totally up to you how you feel, you know, what would be beneficial for you to utilize. All right, here is that required syllabus quiz. I'm going to talk about this in the week 1 assignment video, but I'm going to bring it up now as well, that you'll have to take this required syllabus quiz to open up week 1. So you can see my weeks are all right here. You will not see all of those because they are date based. So you need to take this required syllabus quiz, and then you will see week 1. So week 1 is going to open, you know, the week of June 1st. You need to take that syllabus quiz and get 100% in order to see week 1. You'll be able to see week 1 videos. You just won't be able to get into week 1 and do the work. So if I get emails during those first few days of the semester saying you can't access week 1, odds are it's because you didn't complete your syllabus quiz or you didn't get 100% on it. That is also a way to make sure that you have got the class started, and a way to make sure you don't get dropped from the course if you're getting an early start. Okay. So from there, you can see all of these weeks. Again, you will not see them all at once, but you're seeing them on my screen. Every week has 2 sets of folders. It has video folder, and then it has where all the work is housed. So in the video folders, you will have lecture videos over whatever chapters are being covered that week. They're usually anywhere from like 15 to 20 minutes, and so I do apologize for the length, but they do go over, you know, a whole chapter's worth of information. And then you will also have an assignment video that is going to walk you through how to complete the assignments that week to make sure that you are getting everything completed that you need to. Then inside the actual folder, you will have like a real quick overview, what to expect. It'll tell you exactly, again, what you're doing, and so you're getting it here as well as on your syllabus and your announcements and your calendar. The materials folder is just that. It's going to have some links or resources that are going to be helpful. Here's a link that will take you directly to chapter 1. Here's some slides for the chapter. And week 1 covers more than one chapter, so the chapter 2. I do encourage you to spend some time with the content somehow. Maybe you prefer to open up the slides and spend time with the slides. Maybe you would like to go right to the textbook link and spend time reading the textbook. Maybe you prefer to watch my videos. And I do not expect you to read the textbook word for word. I want you to look at, you know, see Chapter 2 talks about staying motivated, organized, and on track. And let's say you're really great at reaching goals, but you need to really spend some time on time management. And so you would maybe spend most of your time in that chapter focused on that section. So I don't expect you to read everything word for word. I want you to look at what's going to help you, in where you need to improve. And then eventually, after the materials, you will have the actual assignment folder, which is where the work will take place. So you'll have the discussion forums, any assignments you have to do, anything along those lines. So I do have, again, like a real quick review, like, hey, this is what you're working on this week, so that you know exactly what to work on. And all of the weeks are set up just like this. So hopefully you get a real good handle on that after the first week or two. All right, I want to show you a few other features that our course has. I already talked about the calendar. There's a grades area. So once you start having grades, you will see your own personal sheet here, and it'll go through all the assignments and anything that's been graded, and then as well as anything that is still coming up. You will have a resources tab where you can go and look to see, and there's not a whole lot here, but if you needed the help desk, if you needed Starfish, anything like that could be assistance for you. We also have up here a way to message me. So if you need to get a hold of me, you could go up here, click message, click email. It's going to open up right here, and you can click on the 2, and then eventually everyone who's enrolled in this course will be listed. So you will just find my name, Remark, click it, hit add recipients, put whatever your subject is right here, type it here. You can upload a file if you had a question, and then you can hit send. And that's going to go directly to my email. So Brightspace has the email function inside of it, but it does not have an inbox or sent box. So anything you send in Brightspace will go directly to my email or whoever's email. And then when I get it, I will email you and it'll come back to your email. So I know that might sound confusing at first, but it's just a way that Brightspace does not store all of those messages. It still goes to your student email account. All right, so that is pretty much the walkthrough of the course. I wanted to make sure that I just gave you a little bit of an overview to make sure that you're comfortable with navigation, and I encourage you to come back to this video as needed as you work throughout the semester. Again, look at the different resources, different links. I do have, whenever you see the announcements pop up, you will see that I will have links in there. Kind of show you like the lecture video links are already there. I will have a link to this video I'm recording right now. So they're also embedded inside the announcements as well as found in the lessons area themselves. So you'll be able to access videos in a few different places. But if you have any questions as we go throughout this semester, remember you can definitely post them in the Muddy Point. You can reach out to me individually. You can schedule an appointment with me, whatever you need. So again, please spend some time getting accustomed to the course, and then whenever you are ready, take that syllabus quiz so that your week 1 can open up, and then you will want to jump into week 1 and start getting that work done, and that's where my week 1 videos will pick up and help you get through that. All right, I look forward to a great summer. I'll talk to you soon.